The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support at sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Give it to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. I'm glad you teased me on that one. On MikeWagnerShow.com, you can check our Facebook page, Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, and over 25 podcast platforms. Take the Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And here we're the wonderful gentleman, and you can go ahead and start playing for us right here. We'll tell you all about this wonderful gentleman after you hear a wonderful tune from this man on the Mike Wagner Show, and go ahead and play.
Thank you, Mike. My name is Bryan Robinson. This is I Ain't Got No Lockdown Blues. Can't stop drinking booze. I'm
called Lockdown Blues, and that is some very wonderful gentleman out of the UK. He's been doing it since 9 years old in Tamworth, Staffordshire, and lived in Lichfield for nearly 10 years. And played continuously on guitar, studied jazz at Leeds College, and won numerous awards, and got an album out as well, too, Salvation Bell, which we'll hear perhaps a couple more tracks later on as well. Also worked with disadvantaged kids and a prison ministry. Live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plush Studios somewhere in the UK. Ladies and gentlemen, the very talented Bryan Robinson. Bryan, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us. That was fantastic.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That was great fun. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, sounds like you had a lot of fun, and I was going to keep it a little secret, but I guess it kind of got out there, and I have to say the word has gotten out already that you're a very wonderfully talented musician, and of course you got a really good start. You started playing guitar at the age of 9, and you also played in a number of opens as well, too. You won, numerous awards, and you also had worked some disadvantaged youths and adults, and also worked in prison ministry. You got an album out as well, too, and you also had some other things as well, too. And before we get into all that, tell us how you first got started in your own words.
Well, I first got started, it was really interesting, Mike, is when I wanted to play, it was my brother initially that wanted to play guitar. And when my father went along to sort of look at guitars, he found a place where they'd got guitars, and they'd got two. And he said, you know what, one was a small one was a bigger one. And I was pretty small at the time myself. And I think he thought, okay, maybe we can have the small one for Bryan because he's not too big at the moment. And so he got the two guitars. So I got the small guitar, and we went back. And I played around with it for a small while. And then eventually my brother gave up fairly quickly. So I quickly got the big guitar, which is what I wanted, really. So it was too big for me, really. But that's the one I wanted. And so I started playing that guitar. And the music that I was introduced to very young, I was very lucky. We'd be going on holidays, and we'd be listening to people like John Denver and Glenn Campbell, who I'm still a big fan of, and hear Glenn Campbell play the guitar and sing. It was very, very influential and beautiful to hear. And so I sowed the seeds, really. And then eventually I saved up money. I became a paper boy, saved up money, and I bought myself a nice electric guitar. So I bought an electric guitar, a Fender Stratocaster, and then I joined my first band, and that was it. I was smitten. As soon as I was in the band, we started going to gigs and doing gigs and enjoying all of that, and it was absolutely amazing. Such a wonderful experience, that was it for me. Really sold on it, and then I started studying classical guitar, and I ended up at music college, and I studied piano and studied vocals. And I studied jazz at music college as well, so I dipped into other styles of music, and that all went into a melting pot, and I suppose made me the musician I am now, really, which is a real mixture of many styles, where early things with country, and then rock, and then a bit of jazz and classical music, and I love all styles of music, really, and still do. And now, fortunately, I got into recording, and now I own my own studio, which I've had for a while. And I really enjoy recording as well. And it's good you've mentioned the teaching aspect earlier, because a big joy is bringing other people on, I think. Sort of bringing other people on with their musicianship, and actually introducing people to the joy of it, to move them on and help them sort of move forward with it, really, which is great.
Mm-hmm. And it sounds great as well, too. You talk about all the styles as well. And who are some of our other favorite artists and the musicians, singers, and guitarists growing up? You mentioned Glenn Campbell. You also mentioned, I think you said John Denver, and quite
yes.
a number. And who else is considered your favorites and biggest influentials?
I think with influence, certainly on guitar, is when I started learning guitar, I was very lucky. I had a guitar teacher who was very eclectic, and he introduced me to Jimi Hendrix, who people weren't listening to at that time a lot. I think he's being listened to more nowadays. And then people like the Eagles, and so introduced to the Eagles, Hotel California, Carlos Santana, and Eric Clapton. And those were the guitarists that he said you need to listen to the great players. And those, he said, these are the great players that you need to listen to. And I took that on. I mean, he was a great musician, my teacher. And I took that on, and those are the people I was influenced by early on. I think, Mike, the biggest influences really. Great musicians, and I'm very thankful for that, because I still listen to those people, and I can hear the magic in a lot of those people still. I still listen to Eric Clapton and Carlos Santana, and Jeff Beck and the Eagles, and still think, wow, I was lucky to be introduced to that when I was 12 and 11, really.
Oh my goodness. I mean, that's just really big as well, too. And also to consider all the melting pot that you listed, like country, rock, and jazz, and everything else. And what genre would you consider yourself as? Like a brand new genre, or you fit into a few, or what would you call yourself? That's
a really interesting question, because I probably fit into a few, but I don't. I think the thing is that's interesting with people that fit into a style is that I've got friends that are jazz musicians, and that they play in a very strict sort of area of music, and sometimes today when I was playing, I played some jazzy material and I enjoyed that. But then I went into a bit of soul, because I thought, oh yeah, I'll do some soul music. And I really enjoy sort of dipping between styles. And so I suppose really I don't fit completely into one, and I probably cross over 2 or 3. I'd say there are elements of folk, jazz and rock, and probably a little bit of country as well. So I don't know about a new style, but certainly I think I blend a lot of styles together, and I don't think about I'm deliberately melting them together, but they are sort of melted together as a whole, really, I think. Mm-hmm.
We figured we'll come up with a name or something. I'm sure we'll come up with the name later on. And we'll talk more about your career as well, too, and your upcoming album. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable, custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, and over 25 podcast platforms. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with the multi-talented, multi-genre guitarist Bryan Robinson here on the Mike Wagner Show out of the UK. He just played some great music with Lockdown Blues. And before we talk about his upcoming album, Salvation Bell, maybe play one or at the 2 most custom-made album, or anything that you like here. You worked with some disadvantaged youths, later on as well, too. You got into a prison ministry, and tell us more about that. And what made you work with like disadvantaged kids, and what drew you into it, as well as being in a prison ministry?
I think what drew me into it was actually I got invited to go and teach guitar there, and at the time I was doing some work in a school. And I wasn't sure. I have to say that somebody said that there's a guitar teacher leaving. Do you fancy coming in and teaching a bit of guitar? And I wasn't sure. And I said, okay, well, I'll go and see. And I went along. And I was pretty young at the time, and fresh out of college. And so I found it quite an overawing experience going into this place. But very quickly, I realised that as soon as I picked up a guitar and played and sang, the students there were really interested in what I was doing, and so immediately music completely was a leveler. So whatever I felt about going in, the moment you play music or interact with music, it brings people together in a way that I think very few things do. And so very quickly I played, and the feedback was so instant as well. I think the one amazing thing you get in a place like that is if you play, people, they don't hold back with giving you compliments or actually saying, oh, can you show me that? And so absolutely wonderful feedback. And so immediately then I thought, okay, this is pretty good. And it grew and grew. And I started to do more and more of that. and that grew and did more and really enjoyed it. And then eventually, as you say, I ended up teaching choirs and actually singing at Christmas and Easter concerts, which still is one of the great experiences, an amazing experience, hearing a large group of people sort of letting go emotionally. And it's so rewarding, Mike. I can't explain it. It's really special, I think. So I feel very privileged.
It sounds like privilege as well, too, how music comes together, and psychologically it just, comes together. It's just, I really can't explain it. And you worked in a prison ministry as well, too. And what was it like working in a prison ministry? And how'd you get
that amazing, yeah. And again, working in there was just a very special experience where just being around. I think it's one thing that seriously changes people's lives. It's one thing that actually, if people take it on, it can completely change people's lives in a way that other things don't. I really believe that. And to watch that is an absolute privilege, and to be around that. I initially got in that because of music, but then sort of went in and did more of that, and sort of, when I could, volunteered to do more bits of music and contribute to that. And I still do, and it's still a privilege now to go in and actually see people engage with that and try and take on that positivity in a way. That's very special. So I feel very lucky with that again. Yeah, blessed.
And what else are you involved in besides working with the disadvantaged students of prison ministry? And what else are you involved with? And what are the plans you have in getting involved, just reaching out to people? I mean, what you're doing is fantastic.
Yeah, well, at the moment, I've had the most amazing few weeks, Mike, I have to say. In the past few weeks, I've got, as you say, I've got an album coming out very soon. I've got tracks released on all of the major outlets, Spotify, iTunes, and SoundCloud, and whatever. And my aim is to reach out more and more to as many people as possible, and sort of to try and touch people with my music. And in the past, I'd say, past probably 6 weeks, there seems to have been almost like an explosion of interest with my music that's already recorded on those formats, particularly Spotify. And it seems to have suddenly started to take off, and people take a real interest. And through social media, I've been contacted a lot, and people being very positive about my music and what I'm doing. And so it's encouraged me a lot to sort of think, well, I'm producing stuff that people really like to hear and actually get something from. And so hopefully keep trying to make it grow, help it grow, and actually reach more people globally with it, and sort of and try and give people as much pleasure and entertainment and enjoyment from it if possible, and touch people.
And people tweet about it as well, too. That's how I found you as well. Or did you find me? So
I think I found you. I mean, no, I mean, Twitter's another interesting one. I mean, with the tweets, Mike, is recently, is Twitter suddenly seems to have gone mad as well. And like you say, people are finding me on Twitter and on Instagram and various bits. And I'm thinking, how are these people finding me? And people do seem to be finding me. And it's amazing, and I'm so taken aback and overwhelmed with it, and pleased with it. And people are so complimentary, saying, "Oh, we've heard your music, and we love that, the way you've recorded it. We love your voice." And people it's amazing. And as you say, through social media, and people finding me, and I'm thinking people are actually seeking me out and finding me now. It's exciting. It's so exciting.
It does sound exciting, and of course you sought me out and sought others out too. So I think there is divine intervention. I have to say that. So
absolutely, I think you're right.
Yes, that's right. You've been a blessing. I gotta say that, and we'll talk about your upcoming album, Salvation Bell. Maybe you can play a cut from that. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, and over 25 podcast platforms. Take The Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here, singer-songwriter, multi-talented Bryan Robinson here on The Mike Wagner Show from the wonderful UK. And let's talk about your upcoming album, Salvation Bell, and tell us a bit more about it.
Well, yeah, Salvation Bell, it's been a project that's been going on for a while, but I'm sort of pretty much finished with it in the studio. Very excited. Got lots of tracks that I'm really looking forward to letting people hear with that, which is wonderful. And basically, interesting material in it. I mean, the track that I'll probably play you in a minute, which I think is an interesting one, is called Comfortable Silence, which is a track featured on that album. And it's been doing incredibly well in the past few months. I mean, overwhelming. And that track is interesting. And it's basically about, Mike, that we live in a world where people talk constantly and we're very busy, all of us. But sometimes we all have moments when you have a quiet moment when you're with people and there's a common feeling or a common, I suppose, spirituality almost between people. And you don't need any words because you all feel very comfortable together because you're all having the same sort of feeling in a way, the same atmosphere, the same relaxed feeling and just feeling very comfortable in how you all are and like a knowing between you. And I think that's a lovely feeling, that sort of beyond words, that feeling beyond words of being comfortable and happy in a really happy place.
It does sound like it too. And let's go ahead and hear Comfortable Silence from Bryan Robinson right here on the Mike Wagner Show.
Thank you.
Comfortable silence.
silence, what could it mean? Yeah. Comfortable silence, staring at me. Yeah. It's getting better. I'm gonna get her. It's getting better. Ooh.
That is amazing. Wow. Bryan Robinson, Comfortable Silence from the Salvation Bell release. And tell us where can we find your music at, especially that song is amazing. Wow.
Oh, thank you, Mike. That means so much, really. That means so much that you enjoy that. Thank you. Yeah, no, that's really, thank you. That means a lot. It really does.
And my friends thank you too. See, they all thank you. Look at that. They all thank you.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Thank you. Well, to hear that, probably the two places to go for to be able to hear that is it's on lots of sites. You could go to my website, which is www.bryanrobinson.co.uk, and that's Bryan with a Y. So just bryanrobinson.co.uk. And that will take you to all of the usual media sites. So it's on Spotify and iTunes. So if you look at Bryan Robinson on iTunes, that's Bryan with a Y, I'll come up again and you'll be able to hear that tune as it's been recorded in the studio and a few other tunes as well. And also iTunes and on SoundCloud. So if you look for me there, straight there or through my website, you'll be able to hear that.
That sounds fantastic. Once again, Bryan Robinson, singer, songwriter, multi-talented, multi-genre here on the Mike Wagner Show at the UK. A very big thank you for your time. You've been fantastic. Just a couple of things here. What can we expect from you in 2021 and beyond?
2021 and behind. Well, I suppose like many musicians, ideally it'd be nice to be playing some concerts again, and that's the ideal. So we all really hope, don't we, that things will work out and we can actually get out doing more gigs and things. So I'd like to go out and then play people my material and sort of hopefully come to America and play some gigs for you over there. I'd love to come and see you there and play. I've got many friends there. I've got family there as well, actually. And so it'd be great to come over and visit the States and come and see you and play for you live. It'd be wonderful.
We'd love to have you on board as well. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
The single biggest influence? Wow, that's a tough one. Let me think.
Or it can be a few. It doesn't matter. It can be several. It's up to you.
Yeah, it'll be a few. I'd say on guitar, the biggest influence is probably Jeff Beck and Eric Clapton are probably my two biggest influences on guitar. In terms of singing, I'm a big Frank Sinatra fan, huge Sinatra fan, and also Glenn Campbell are two of my biggest influences. So yeah, those two people. And in terms of career, I suppose with many other people, big fan of Bruce Springsteen as well. I think just with Bruce, I think it's his energy. I mean, the thing is, he's releasing a new album in about 4 weeks, and I think, wow, what a career he's had! Incredible career. Really.
Yeah, it had to have a career. There was a movie done about him as well, too. What was it, Blinded by the Light? And it was just fantastic.
Yes. And so he's a really inspirational character, and he seems like a really decent person as well. He seems like a good person. You know, he always comes across as being a good person and sings a lot of songs championing, I suppose, the underdog, which is quite nice. So those people really. And then I think closer to me, I've been very fortunate, a lot of people around me. So probably the very biggest influence is, I've just thought of this. You've made me think of this, Mike. This is really interesting. You've made me really think here. And I've thought actually probably the very biggest influences in my life aren't famous people. They're people I've met, and I've got this thing where somebody said the other day, I was filling a form in, and they said, if you could have a superpower or be a superhero, what would you be? And I said, a good handyman. And they said, what do you mean? And I said, well, so many people who are considered ordinary, I don't think there are such things as ordinary people. So many people are extraordinary and have extraordinary gifts. And if it's not obvious, they're so easily overlooked. And so many interesting and inspirational people I've met in my life have just been regular people I've met through work or socially, that are just incredible people because they've either spent their lifetimes helping other people, for instance. I know people that have spent 40 years selflessly helping other people, and you think, wow. And I look at those people and think, you're an inspiration because you're just incredible, selfless people that just help people. And that's an inspiration, isn't it? I think people like that. So really, I think in terms of music, it's those people. But in terms of people, just people you meet in the street, you walk down the street, there's some amazing people walking on the opposite side of the pavement every time you go out, Mike, I think.
That is fantastic. I mean, you just said it all right there. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
I'd say look in the mirror and say to yourself, yes, I can, times 10,000.
Yes, I can, times 10,000. Everybody repeat after us. Yes, I can.
Yes, I can.
10,000 times 10,000. Yes, I can. Times 10,000.
You can.
And do it 10,000 times, of course.
Yes, you can do it. Whatever it is, you can do it. Absolutely.
That's right. And of course, we can all do it afterwards. Once again, the multi-talented Bryan Robinson here on the Mike Wagner Show. A very big thank you for your time, Bryan. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. And once again, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or check out your music?
Yes, please do. Thanks for having me, Mike. It's been an absolute pleasure, honestly. You're an absolute delight to talk to. It's been such a pleasure. Honestly, brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And once again, you got to tell us where can people purchase your music and your website, and how do people contact you? I mean, people got to contact you somehow, right? So
they do. If people want to contact me, so my website is www.bryanrobinson.co.uk, and that's Bryan with a Y, so Bryan Robinson. Or if you go on Spotify or iTunes, if you look for Bryan Robinson, you'll be able to find me there too. And you can contact me. You can email me through my website or find me on Twitter and contact me through Twitter or Instagram. And I always message back because I meet such wonderful people like you, Mike. And you're one of those people. You're an inspiration. Just talking to you, I feel good after an interview with you. It's been amazing. I feel really good.
Oh, that's a great compliment. Probably one of the
gift.
Compliments I get. I have to say this. It's like talking to a great guy like you, and the way you play. I'm like, where have you been all this time?
Thank you so much.
Now you no longer well-kept secret. Once again, Bryan, very big thank you for your time. Being fantastic. Looking forward to him again soon. Very soon, more like. And do us a favor. Please keep us up to date. We really need to have you back.
I will. Thank you, Mike. You take care. Bless you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.